Hey everybody, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. First of all, I want to give a shout out to our main sponsors, Rise and Sons, the award-winning brewery in Cork. Be sure to drop in and check out their fantastic array of IPAs and beers if you are ever in the vicinity. I am delighted to welcome Ward of Attrition to the show. I've got Ocean and Nate. Thanks for joining us, lads.
No, thanks very much for having us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one for a while, lads. Where can we start? But I think we should start. It was the time he hit the siege and fucking slayed all in front of you, man. And that was such a great buzz watching you for the first time. That was in 2022, actually a year ago. Imagine that. And we've a new siege on the horizon. But that day itself, you had a packed audience. You were upstairs.
Yeah,
we
were upstairs. That was so fucking funny though, because like we started, I think it was like 15 minutes early. So the band that were on before us had to stop for whatever reason.
They did a short set. They didn't have the full set. Like,
okay,
and like we were there setting up, and then I looked up. I was like, oh shit, there's people up here already. And we're like, right, well, we may as well get going. Turned around, and then it was just whoosh all the way to the back. We're like, oh,
it literally was.
There was like 20 people there at the start. We got a minute into our first song, locked up, and the place was packed. Probably best gig today, to be honest.
I think it was amazing because, I mean, again, you had plenty of neutrals up there like me that would have heard of ye and were up there just nosing and seeing what I suppose you could say there was a bit of hype about you lads, which is nice to know. And like I left there going, fuck, that was fucking brilliant. That was great fun. The lads killed it. And, you know, again, you had a huge crowd that were so enthusiastic, and a lot of the lads seem to have known your stuff. There was a lot of locals there as well, which is always great, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
actually, the local scene in Limerick is fantastic.
It is.
Like, everybody goes to everyone's gigs, and it's brilliant.
Yeah,
like you won't get it. Well, I haven't seen it anywhere else myself, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not just a metal scene; it's a live music scene, because the same heads you'll see at every metal gig, you'll see at every drum and bass rave, at every hip hop gig. Like, you know, it's a dedicated music scene as opposed to strictly just metal scene.
Yeah. Even at the trad sessions, you'll get a lot of the metalheads. You'll get the ravers and all that kind of shit as well. It's brilliant.
Is that true? Yeah, the trad sessions.
Like I go to a thing called the Tinton. It's on every Tuesday night in the Commercial, and it's just trad stuff. I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, this fucking trad thing is following me around like a bad smell now at this stage. Like, Jesus, like. But look, I appreciate great musicians no matter what. Like, but just I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me in relation to the guys that are up their own hole. You know, that kind of way. You know, and I think I've just been more or less exposed to them more than anything else.
Every scene has its gatekeepers.
Yeah. In relation to the pubs and stuff that I would drink in, if I'm down in Kerry or Galway and stuff like that, they wouldn't be the obvious tourist traps. So those trad musicians that are playing in the pubs that I'm going to are, again, just they wouldn't be playing the normal shit. And I just go, oh, for fuck's sake, leave me be. But look, as I said, it's their own traditional music, so I'm not going to shit in it. But it's just, you know, I have a threshold, and then I fucking walk away.
That's fair. Yeah. I get that too.
Yeah, but, I can't blame you.
Yeah, but we're on about Limerick in general. The scene up there at the moment, it's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Yeah. Like, it's booming down here.
Yeah, and you're another one of the bands now that have come out of that scene. Maybe just talk about how you formed, and was there a few friendships involved first of all, and then someone came up with the idea of a band, or?
Sure. Like myself and Ocean have been friends for 23, 24 years now.
Yeah,
something like that.
Jesus, like, that's great, lads. Wow.
Yeah, we grew up in the same village. Ocean moved away, and then we bumped into each other again when we were like 15, I think, and we just clicked again.
Okay.
And independently of each other, we were both mad into our metal, which was, obviously we were like, both of us are from around Offaly.
Okay.
So like,
4 out of the 5 of the band.
4 of the 5 are from Offaly.
Are you serious?
Yeah. We say we're a Limerick band. We're actually a Tullamore band.
Okay, Tullamore is good. Yeah, Tullamore.
Yeah. It's,
you've been accepted into Limerick as a Limerick band.
Oh yeah, with
There's
open
no
arms.
disputing that. There's no disputing that. But go on anyway. So all 4 of you were from Offaly initially?
Well, 4 out of the 5 of us. So there's everybody apart from our drummer Shapes. But all of us would have known each other kind of in our own ways. Myself and Nathan had played music together in so many tried and failed projects for the guts of a decade. We've jammed with Keith, our bassist, Diarmid, our guitarist in the past. And I think what sealed War of Attrition forming was the bus on the way to Slipknot in 2020. Myself and Nathan were drinking with Shapes, who I would have known from college and gigs around Limerick.
Okay.
He mentioned he was a drummer, and we were like,
we need a drummer.
Are you in a band? You're not in a band. Come jam with us next week. That's a long story short anyways, and that was January 2020. Straight into lockdown.
That's not too long ago at all then, lads.
No, not really.
No, it was it's been a weird going with the band, like, cause we kicked off literally 2 months before the entire country fucking locked down. And myself and Ocean ended up moving back to Offaly for a year.
The guts of a year, yeah.
So just fucking with everything locking down, lost my job. Ocean, everything just went to shit. Everyone fucking knows it. Everyone had something.
Mm-hmm.
But we worked on the vast majority of our material through Discord and online, and just sending each other demos and recordings, and just keeping going and going and going. Pretty much every day, myself and Ocean were on the computer with each other, getting pissed and drinking, and just writing music.
Mm. That's class. And sometimes through adversity, stuff will fucking come out of it. And
it gave us a lot of material anyways, just frustrations at the world and society, which is a lot of what the music kind of focuses on. A lot of time to write it, and it couldn't have been done 20 or 30 years ago. How we did it, Nathan would have all his recording software open. I'd be using TeamViewer to control his computer, record him, edit as his recording, and then once we'd have something going, it would go on to the lads, who would then practice it in their bedrooms. Whenever lockdowns kind of laid up a bit, we'd hop down to Limerick to just jam with lads. And by the time myself and Nathan had moved back down to Limerick, which incidentally was in the same month as each other, we had an entire EP ready to go and a couple of songs from the album ready to work on as well. So
how vital was it though to get that rehearsal space?
Very. Very, very, very. There's one thing practicing by yourself in a room recording, but nothing beats being in the room with the lads, because then you'd be like, oh wait, hang on, do this a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. It's just, you have to be around people. It's not impossible, but it's way harder to do things online.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll say the faults of some songs would obviously come straight up when you're rehearsing, and maybe probably the structures as well. I just maybe talk to me about your songwriting process. Did yourself and Nate, Ocean, as you said, you were good pals, and were you just throwing ideas out at each other? Or what was the theme of the kind of maybe the style of music you wanted to go down as well?
Well, I suppose we had a lot of similar influences and a lot of similar ideas about the world. So we wanted, at least for the first while of War of Attrition, to avoid the overly personal, talking about yourself or your feelings, and keep with the more societal observations. And we were kind of talking about how, the 4 horsemen of the modern day social apocalypse are religion, industrialism, politics, and media.
Okay.
We were like, Horsemen of the Social Apocalypse. That's really cool. So the idea of the social apocalypse became a theme.
Okay.
And even for our albums going forward, we've got themes in mind for albums. So not that we want to write strict concept albums, but have a congruency of album feel in their topics. So
okay.
Yeah, sure. Like the first song we wrote properly is "Victims of Avarice." And like the evolution, even in the style that we write in, and like even the way like I do my vocals and like the guitar and everything has changed so much since its initial conception. Well, it was the other day, the two of us were listening back through our Google Drive, and we're like, "Oh my God, that's how we used to do that." It's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm glad you brought up that song in particular, Nate, Victims of Avarice. I mean, there is a spoken word section in that and the great solo, I presume by you, Ocean, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so stuff like that for a band that's just only just out, 2 to 3 years, and having the cop on, I would say, and the knowledge to break up a song by putting in a spoken word section in that's a great example of ye kind of progressing already as a band. But did that spoken section come out of a rehearsal, a jam, or was it again in the cold light of day, the two of you just working through Zoom?
It's kind of funny with that because we're like, you know, like everyone does, like every band has their kind of their niche and everything, you know, that you can relate to them. Like the big massive bands, like look at Rage Against the Machine. They have a very unique style. You can immediately pick up on who they are. Yeah. And for the spoken word part, initially I was like, right, what way do we want to do this? And I was like, I'm going to get a megaphone. And I was like, that might sound cool. So then I bought the megaphone and sent Ocean a very shit recording of trying to record me doing the spoken word.
Don't put a megaphone straight up to the microphone.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. But it kind of came from there. And then during the recording process, we went, okay, we're going to have to use an effect here. And like I try to incorporate the megaphone into our live act, but again, it's really hard to get the distance right to not cause feedback and shit like that.
But I guess that concept of spoken word bits, we've used that now in 2 or 3 of our songs. Our most recent song, The Weeper, which will be coming up on the album, it starts off with a spoken word piece, a melodic spoken word piece versus singing or growling. And we've integrated that idea a couple of times. It almost helps with the narrative of our songs. Like all of our songs are very much, well, not all of them, but most of our songs tell a story as opposed to portray an idea. So there's a start, middle, and end to the story of the songs as opposed to just the song structure.
There's always certain songs, because I mean, my love is always going to be the thrash metal scene. Shout out to Psychosis. But I mean, there's always
great guys as well.
They're top lads.
Tom's my G. I love that.
I want to give him a special shout out because I got fucking whiplash. Diagnosed as having whiplash after the Psychosis gig in Limerick.
You're kidding.
No, I'm fucking serious, man. I had to I couldn't figure out what the fuck was wrong with me because, you know, you're just demented on alcohol and fucking having the crack and everything, but like...
Going fucking 90.
That's like, mental as fuck.
A week later, I was still fucked. I couldn't move my neck or nothing. I was going, what the hell? So went into one of a pretty good... I was going to say psychiatrist. Maybe it should be a fucking psychiatrist I need at this stage. But a physio, and the physio went through everything, and he goes, "Man, you've got fucking whiplash." And I'm there, oh, for fuck's sake. He goes, "What happened to you?" And I goes, psychosis in Limerick. And he just looked at me and he goes, "Dude, you're 52. For fuck's sake." Like, you know.
But that's metal as fuck.
Yeah.
It probably is, yeah. But Oh yeah, so that's what I was getting to. Is a lot of my favorite bands back in the 80s and 90s. A lot of the great thrash metal bands, they would have had spoken words. They would have had fucking sirens. They would have had all these things coming in to make songs, to break up the monotony of some of the riffs in some of the songs. And yeah, like even looking at the Social Apocalypse there, like you had 4 songs on Bandcamp, but 5 on the CD. Even the Throne of the Fallen King, which I am going to play, that starts off with sirens. And if you're looking at the title, and maybe we'll talk about this, is the fact that the Throne of the Fallen King, you would imagine, is this epic fantasy song with lyrics, and suddenly you're with sirens, and I'm thinking King of New York with Christopher Walken or something like that, you know? So I'm going to play it. I'm going to play that song, right? I'm going to play a clip of the song, and then that'll give you plenty of time to tell me about how it came together and a few other things, okay?
Oh, man.
Okay, lads, over to you.
Well, a funny story about how that song came into being. That's one of the fewer songs that myself and Nathan didn't write a lot of lyrics to. So that was Shapes, our drummer. He was working in a community center, I think, on his work experience, or something like that, learning hub, I think it was. And he found, I think it was like a sheet of music from Alivo that primary school Christianity book, and he just started rewriting each line to be a more metal version of what it said. Showed us, we were like, that's pretty badass. So we took an Alivo song, turned it more metal, and then tried to bring in the ideas that Shapes had for it. So myself and Nathan rewrote a few of the lyrics and added that section just after the solo, "The Fire Burnt the Sky." We kind of warped it to be about how industrialization is destroying the world and, you know, scorching the skies. So, yeah, it started with a children's nursery rhyme or something.
Funny thing is, though, with that song, though, the solo is actually a dual solo. Yeah. So the first half is Ocean, the second half is Diarmid.
Ah, that's great to hear, man. It's wild.
It's one of those. It's one of those things where, like, fucking Thin Lizzy did it. Yeah. Why the fuck can't we do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, that was always the idea behind getting Diarmid as well. Like, Diarmid he barely even likes metal. He likes his classics. Like, he likes Black Sabbath, Metallica, but that's about as heavy as he gets when it comes to metal. He's big into his classic rock and blues.
Blues, I was going to say it, blues. Yeah, you can kind of, there's maybe one. Oh, yeah, I know the one. It's The Constant Grade. There's a bit of blues going in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I asked him to join the band because I didn't want just another metal guitarist. I wanted somebody who could bring something a bit more fresh and different.
Yeah.
And give a critical perspective on metal. And Diarmid, I do a lot of the solos, but very often we feel a song and we're like, no, this is a Dermot solo song, or I'll do a solo, then you do a solo, then I'll do solo, you do a solo.
Yeah, and let's talk about the recording process of it.
Oh man,
yeah. Live tracking sets off flags for me, red flags for me straight away.
Man,
I don't know, was that inexperience? Was it down to budget constraints or what? Or
it was just us being fucking stupid.
Okay.
So we wanted to kind of capture, like we've always been told from the start, we're an insane live band. We wanted to capture that live energy, yet somehow make it accessible. So we figured live track. Now,
before let me pause it there, Ocean. How many members of ye had ever done live tracking before?
One.
One.
Yeah,
okay.
One.
Funnily enough, I was the one member of the band who was saying, yeah, let's not.
Okay.
So I voted 4-1 on that.
Although, funnily enough, all the vocals ended up being recorded to a click track that was set to all of the instrumentals.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, and I just recovered from COVID as we were doing it as well.
Yeah, and I still had a fucking nasty sinus infection when we were doing the original live tracking. So, like, I think it was a month or two later, I went in and did all of the vocal tracking.
Oh, man. And, like, especially for a vocalist, like, was that your first proper effort at being in a studio, Nate, as well? Kind of.
Yeah. It's
so it was intimidating enough for you. You probably be overthinking a lot of stuff. How was Joey in relation to that, working with you as a vocalist, maybe?
Oh man, Joey was absolutely fantastic. Like anytime, like.
You did it. Sorry, it was Joey with Open Door. That's Open Door Studios.
Which unfortunately he's now gone, which is a massive fucking loss to Limerick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And us especially, we no longer have a solid practice space.
He blows up there at Christmas time, which is, as Nathan said, a huge loss to the city.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real pain. But like, I don't know. Like, it's I don't think I found it intimidating. Like, music is always something I've wanted to do. It's always like, as long as I can remember, it's always something I've enjoyed. And for me, I was just like, fuck yeah, I'm finally getting to, finally getting the opportunity and finally have a band that I'm able to do it with.
Okay.
Because, like, oh God, like, I've been in and out of bands since I was 14, 15, and never gone anywhere. It's always been unreliable people. And then War of Attrition happened. I'm like, oh my God, this is finally fucking happening.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah, about 12, 13 years of trying and failing while living in the Midlands. And then as soon as we get to Limerick and get something going, boom.
COVID.
And I guess at the same time, whilst it was Nathan's first time doing a proper studio recording, he had plenty of practice in that. Both myself and Shapes would have studied music tech in college. So we'd be doing a lot of bedroom tracking, but approaching it with the limited gear we had as if it were a proper tracking session. So wasn't his first time behind a vocal booth, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that definitely would have helped.
Yeah.
So where did you encounter the problems with the live tracking, Ocean?
Not to name names, but a certain drummer could not keep tempo because he was drinking way too much Monster.
Oh man.
But I mean, it gave the energy that the recording has. It did also mean that our hands were about to fall off at the end of every day, and just meant that everything was pushed about 10 to 20 BPM, which is how we do it live. So in fairness, you can't blame him too much, but Shapes has so much energy, particularly behind the drum kit. He can go for hours and hours and hours without burning out. The rest of us, not so much. So that did cause a lot of problems, and I guess like I've spent years just tracking my own instrumental guitar stuff and whatnot, so I'd be very used to playing to a click, and live, very often it's like little fuck ups that everybody makes. I mean, I've seen Metallica screw up a little bit in Master of Puppets, a song they've been playing for 30 plus years. It's to be expected, but when you're recording that and you hit one little bump in the road, it's like, right, start again from the top, guys. So I think the main issue just became fatigue.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was a learning experience. I think that we did get a nice balance between accessible and raw. We learned a lot of lessons by doing it. So I was just going to say it, man. Like, for a first EP, what she went through, man, it might have been a ball of shit, like, but the end product certainly fucking holds its own. And, the experience, the savvy you got out of it, all of you, including Shapes.
We learned a hell of a lot.
You did, yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, I mean, as you were alluding to, that you have a few more tracks down.
A lot.
Oh, have you? Okay, so is there an album on the horizon?
Yeah, we've half our album written, and we have 3 or 4 songs that are like lyrics are written, the riffs are written. We're just trying to tighten up. But we've got about 12 or 13 tracks now in total.
Fuck, lads, that's great news.
We're just, hopefully this year, if we can get the funds together, we'll be tracking the album, and we're doing proper production job on it, to the click. We're taking either Kieran Cohan here in Limerick or JSR up in Belfast. And I've worked with Josh before on the Iseri project.
There you go, man. Yes. So like, yeah. Okay. Probably maybe Josh, I love Josh as well, but maybe Josh would make you sound too polished. I think Kieran would probably be a better choice, more local. Yeah. I mean, Josh could be easily the third or fourth, when you're hitting America and shit like that. So I'm going to play Bad Personality Disorder. I fucking love this track. We move. Good lead work, but as I said, I can get into vocals as well. Like about roughly a minute and a quarter to get all this stuff in. So that's a great fucking track. Does that signify what's coming down the line with she, or again, are you?
Yeah, that was a bit of a stepping stone song. So that song was actually never meant to be on the EP. That's officially the bonus track.
Okay, but it's on the CD, I presume.
It'll be on the CD,
which I will be purchasing. Go on.
Oh, fantastic!
Excellent.
Yeah. But yeah,
don't let me stop a good story there, Ocean.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, that was very much the stepping stone track. So we never wanted the album to sound like the EP, and there will not be any of the same tracks featured on the album.
Okay, good.
But yeah, that was kind of pushing towards a slightly almost trashier direction, and then we start writing the album, and the album's borderline proggy in that it's a lot of nuts. There's at least 4 to 5 people in the band who probably have undiagnosed ADHD, so we can't really stick with a groove for too long. We're always looking to switch up, and we have such a hard time writing songs that are shorter than 5 minutes.
I think that's the challenge, isn't it?
I just want us to do a 3-minute song.
Yeah. Well, join the punk band then. But yeah, I think 4 or 5 of our tracks on the album are pushing 6 minutes. There's one that's 8.5, 9 minutes long.
Yeah, see, you're that type of band that can, like, I was just looking even in relation to the amount of bands that you played over the last year, like Psychosis, Fury, Unmaker, Soothsayer, Black Shuck, Words That Burn, Rest of Nation, Organ Blender. Just to say a shout out to all those bands, are fucking absolutely amazing.
We're so lucky to have been able to play with them.
But you are that type of band that can actually jump in on all those. It says a lot about maybe your style, the fact that obviously those bands actually trust G as well to bring a fucking serious heft to the crowd. But like, my question to you is, with all those diverse bands, would you take in anything from playing with them?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Every single band we've ever played with, every band I've ever watched, I'll watch their entire set. I see what they're doing. I'm like, okay, how can I implement this?
Good.
Every single gig we go to, every gig we play, it's a learning experience. I think everybody should approach every gig they go to, especially like if you're in the band. I love that
attitude, Nathan. Love it.
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise,
because you're looking at the competition. You're looking at what's ahead of you. These lads are around. A lot of these bands are around for a long time, and they have a stage craft that can be, if you're watching it, you can pick up little things,
Yeah, like fucking so far my favorite, and not even just the performance that blew my mind was Soothsayer. Soothsayer in the Casbah in Limerick. Fucking hell, they were absolutely phenomenal.
I travelled up to Belfast to see them, man, and they were fucking phenomenal that night as well. Amazing, yeah.
But we've played with so many fucking amazing bands over the last year or so.
Yeah.
But Soothsayer did something very special. It wasn't even their sound, it was their conduction, their performance, like that sort of atmospheric black metal. It's not normally my cup of tea, but those guys
wouldn't be mine either.
Away.
It wouldn't be mine either. But
their stage performance is just insane. It's fucking brilliant. But like fucking we were main headline for Unmaker, doing I think it was their EP or one of their track
their EP launch.
Yeah, and like they
top
fucking
lads.
blew it away as well. Like they're so fucking sound.
Yeah, that was our first time meeting Unmaker, and how they sound, how they perform, and lads themselves are fucking legends.
Fucking class boys. Like,
see, I look at Unmaker, I look at G, I look at Fornot, I look at Organ Blender. You will be, in my eyes, and for the listeners as well, you're kind of the new, we'll say, phase of the Irish metal scene. I don't know, would you be aware of that or not, or do you even fucking bother even thinking about that? But to me, you are, like, and I mean, it's fucking fantastic what's coming through. And like,
that's very flattering.
It is, like, and it's genuine, because I mean, I've fucking been around for years, literally at this stage, and every 2 years there's a new fucking you know, a new set of bands that are coming up there that are different, that are diverse, that are, you know, they're hard to fucking, like, we love, old school metalers love painting bands into a fucking picture that we can say, oh, they're a trash band and they're this and they're that.
Yeah.
We can't do that anymore. And that's a great fucking thing.
Like,
we've actually...
We have no idea what the fuck we are.
Every week
and long may that continue,
we're a
Nate.
melodic death metal trash.
Like, I laughed when I saw you were labelled as a trash band. You're far from it.
No.
You're
Trash
doing...
influences for sure, but...
Yeah, there is influences there, but you're far from it. Like, there's too much going on. And I want to play one more song. Because like, I was determined to get 3 songs into this fucking podcast. And this song is my favourite of the EP, even though a lot of people that don't know you will be surprised to hear this. And, you know, it's The Constant Grey. It's a fucking...
I knew it was going to be that one.
It's an incredible song, lads. So maybe we can talk about that after it's played.
Another child dead in the streets he called home, but the newsman decided nobody should know. If he was a rich boy, they'd remember his name, but they left him to fade in the constant grey. And the people will eat up the lies that they're sold, the misinformation they barter for gold, manipulate the masses to do what they're told. What am I to believe when I know we're alone? Oh, the principles is they are one and the same. They tell us that both got for power and fame. How can I be happy when they are to blame for drowning us all in the constant rain? With the police and they left out to enforce immoral law on the people who are helpless to stop what they saw. Corruption I've witnessed will drive me insane. I'm choking beneath the constant rain. And I am at home, oh where the fighting rain, but the voice never reads through the wind and the rain. The one would not change my life, just run away. I'm drowning beneath the constant rain.
Oh, there you go. Maybe was that like 2 songs or was it 1 song or?
That was a Bob Dylan song, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah, that song is actually, if you follow the vocal melody and the chord progression, it's actually Bob Dylan's Times Are Changing.
Wow. So Guns N' Roses did it with Maggie's Farm and fucking War of Attrition did it with The Constant Grey.
Yeah, it's...
It doesn't spoil it for me, fucking Ocean. For fuck's sake, why did you tell me that?
No, it's... that song
but we
is...
draw our influences from...
Everywhere.
Yeah, I was hearing Lizzie in it. I was hearing blues in it.
Oh, plenty of that as well. But
yeah, I mean, it's a great tribute to you to put that in an EP of 4 songs that is certainly different from the other 3. And long may you continue to do that, because shit like that will just catch a fan. We
were worried about that song. We were like,
yeah,
no, do. I strongly encourage it, because every album should have 1 song that will just, you know, test the audience. I think myself, that's personally.
Yeah, well, that's normal. That's one of our 2 closer songs, and we were stunned with the reaction from that song. So, you know, we got it right, and we hope we keep getting it right with those strange left field experimental ideas.
Yeah, I mean, you only have to look at Fornot as well. They're another band that are doing stuff like that are just, they'll be black metal, they'll be death metal, and then they'll put in a beautiful acoustic piece, and, you know, just because they can.
Yeah, why not?
They can they're confident enough. They're confident enough in their own personalities
music,
to say,
do whatever the fuck we want with it.
And I think that's in your band as well. And I'd strongly encourage you to keep that for the next release.
Just wait till the album. Like we have a song that we play live called "I Am Devastation," and there's like 44 individual parts, Ocean, I think it is.
Yeah, there's like 44 unique guitar riffs in that song.
Jesus.
Like
you're in Dark Angel territory there, lads.
Yeah, there's one section that goes from grindcore straight into power metal.
It's we don't make things easy for ourselves. Like even like when we first played, was it BPD that I passed out when we were first doing it?
Wow.
It's like we always try to push ourselves. Like we always it's I'm not happy with being good. I want to be the best.
Yeah. I mean, vocally, or Nate, we'll say for gigs now, especially your vocal style, there's every chance you could blow out after maybe 4 or 5 songs, the way you deliver those.
There's a trick to that.
Okay, there you go.
Practice
so maybe
for 4 or 5 hours every time you're doing band practice, and eventually it'll just go away.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you have learned your lessons, we'll say, earlier on.
Well, it's more just like I've been practicing doing harsh vocals since I was like, I'd say 17, 18. And like I'm 28 now, so it's 10 years of practicing. And we have certain songs that really, really test how much I can do my vocals. And so like we don't design our set around when we're playing live how I do my vocals, but like I've learned to master, like I started taking vocal lessons to make sure that I didn't have that happen.
Good.
Because, there's nothing worse than like, like if people are paying in to see us, I don't want to fuck that up for someone, fucking they're paying to see me. They're paying to see us, and it's, you practice, all practice. Once you practice, get your technique down, get your breathing correct. Breathing is the most fucking important thing. If your breathing's fucked, you're not going to be able to do shit. Yeah.
Oh, you're ticking all the right boxes, lads. What's your general view on the Irish scene at the moment? Where do you think
it's fucking booming? Savage. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. I love it.
Where do you think it can improve?
Oh, I don't think I can say anything without getting in trouble here.
Listen, you're amongst friends. Come on.
I think a huge area that we can improve with is just organisation. Like, I mean, we're really well organised, but
we're getting there. But
it's just I think the main difference is not necessarily a musical skill level, but, you look at, say, the bigger Irish bands, the likes of Words to Burn, they commit so hard. Like, I think their new album was produced by the guys who did Lorna Shore's new album. They've got the highest end of artwork. There's financial commitments, there's time commitments. These guys are top tier professionals. And, there's a lot we can learn from that. And, it's all just learning process or organization or PR or we kind of let a lot of stuff come to us, whereas we could push ourselves harder. And I suppose that we're trying now with our CD launch coming up next month. We're like, right, now's the time. This year is the year that we push ourselves out there rather than just being lucky enough to let the stuff come to us.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like, we still have to break into Cork and Belfast.
Yeah.
It's funnily enough, we thought Dublin was going to be the hard one to get into, but Dublin is big. Like, we played the most gigs in Dublin, funnily enough.
Yeah, more Dublin than Limerick, like.
Yeah.
It's but getting into Cork is proving to be a little bit of a pain.
There's a reason why, because there's a very limited amount of gigs on in Cork.
Yeah, that's it. Like, there's also a lot of really good bands in Cork as well. And then in Belfast, we're just like, shit, who do we actually get in contact with up there?
Yeah, sure. There's Jake from Elder Jude straight away. There's
That's your
James Love,
we
the
know
Distortion Project. So you know there's
we know the lads in Raven White as well,
and Acid Age as well. Jude, I love
Age.
Jude.
Jesus, did you see Acid Age at the Siege?
At the Siege, no.
No, my apologies. They weren't at the Siege. It was at Psychosis.
No.
Evil.
Yeah,
Evil. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fucking go to it.
Yeah, no, I saw them there. Myself and Nathan went up to see them in Belfast there, a year or so ago.
I think it was
not
2021.
long after lockdowns lift. That would have been my first time seeing them live.
Yeah, incredible.
I was going up for Crossfire. Acid Age blew me away.
Yeah. So, Ocean, maybe just talk about, because I suppose you can't really talk for the rest of the lads, so just give us an idea of your setup for studio and for playing live in relation to your guitars and pedals.
Live I would play, I'm currently playing through an Orange Dual Terror and a Marshall 4x12. In studio I will either, if I can, use a 5150. I will always track my demos with an amp sim of an EVH 5150 and a Maxon OD 808. It's a very standard, no bullshit metal guitar setup. It's used by Trivium, Machine Head. You can't go wrong. I don't like to do anything too mad with my tone for recording, but live, my pedal setup is a bit all over the place because I use line 6 distortion pedal into a Harley Benton delay into a vintage Korg A4 that I inherited from my father. He passed it on to me. Yeah. And then into a Harley Benton 808 clone. So it's a bit of a whack setup. My board is way too large, but I'm just kind of using what I have at the moment. And this year, I already blew most of my music gear budget this year on my Dual Terror and Marshall cab. So I'm hoping we make some good money off of the EP launch to upgrade our gear further. But the sound is a fairly standard metal sound with a few personal tweaks. I like pushing my mids rather than my lows because we play a lot of standard tuning. We don't believe in drop tuning the shite out of our guitars. Or sorry, I don't believe in it. Anyways. But just as Shapes doesn't believe in using double kick, we're kind of hard set in our ways, much to Nathan's dismay. We'll play a few songs drop D, but that's it. So I push my mids, try to have a good crisp low end and not too tinny on the high end.
Yeah, let's just quickly acknowledge your rhythm section. Actually, it's incredible.
Oh man, Keith is a phenomenal bassist.
Yeah, exactly.
Shapes, I love the band. He is a brilliant drummer, but my God, does he piss me off when he fucking goes 10 to 15, 20 BPM faster. Jesus Christ.
It works, though. It really gives us the energy.
Yeah,
but
it works.
Absolutely, yeah.
It works, but fucking hell, man.
He just needs to lay off the monster.
There you go. There's a simple solution to every fucking thing.
We make sure he smokes a pitter before we go on every time to slow him down. I'm not even fucking joking on that.
Phenomenal drummer. He doesn't need the double kick. That's why he doesn't play it. He doesn't need it. And Keith, I've no idea what that man does on bass. It's the only section that I've no idea what the tab is.
You don't even get involved.
I just know that whatever the fuck he's doing, he's sticking to shapes like glue and.
Yeah, that's tight. What you need, isn't it?
The pair of them, they bounce off of each other.
The rhythm section is the backbone of any band.
Well, that was obvious, Nate, when we were watching In the Siege. That was fucking obvious.
And those two boys know what each other are doing at all times. So
Yeah, so let's talk about the launch gig before we finish up. It's in the pharmacy. It's on April the 15th, and Unmaker and Aborted Earth. What a great
that's
choice.
going to be so fucking fun. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Two top tier bands. Everybody's ears are going to be bleeding.
Yeah.
It's really funny because we spent ages kind of like, fuck, who do we get to do support? And we're like, okay, Unmaker, we owe them a gig at the very least.
Yeah.
Plus, like, you know, we're friends with them as well. But like, we had fucking Saint Slaughter reach out to us, Psychotic Outsider, Dara from Horrenda as well was at us for Horrenda, but unfortunately they can't do it due to reasons. But as a good second, Aborted Earth. So you know what? That's fucking class.
That's class. Like, we've been good friends with Aborted Earth and Unmaker. Like, they're some of the nicest fucking lads you'll meet, and insane musicians. There are going to be a couple of fun surprises on the night. We'll not say too much, but we're going to go all out. Like, we're doing free shots on the door and throwing out T-shirts to the crowd, competitions, the full shebang. So we don't want to throw a gig; we want to throw a party. Like,
but that's how we feel it should be if you're doing a fucking launch, especially for an EP. It's like, nah, fuck that. We're not doing a gig. We're having a party, and everyone's gonna have fun.
Yeah, getting videographers, photographers, the whole shebang. So, it's going to be a bit of a night. There is potentially going to be a guest band or two hopping up for shorter sets.
Possibly, but we're not allowed.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to say about that.
Yeah.
Man, that's great that you're thinking that way, because you're right. It's a fucking celebration. And an EP launch should be a celebration rather than a band just coming up cold and playing, going through the motions. And this is our thing. Come on, it's a fucking celebration.
Sure, like we're playing our entire set, like every single song that we've written. We're playing the entire.
Who's doing sound for you on the night, lads?
It's a good question. Engineer, Diarmid, I believe. His pharmacy is house engineer. He's worked with us every time we've worked with pharma.
Because you need a good guy that you can trust for that, man.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they have our particular mix already saved on the mixing.
They've got our preset saved. So,
and again, let's just briefly talk about the merch. There was a lot of chatter on social media about the white T-shirts that you brought out.
Yeah, we didn't expect people to like them so much.
What's going on with that, man? You know, I'm an advocate for white T-shirts. I am an advocate for white T-shirts. Because the majority, 90% of my fucking...
They're all black.
Are all black, yeah. But I changed over the last few years, so now there's a beautiful blend of white, yellow, red, and a few others. Like,
it's...
Nathan loves his yellow T-shirts.
I do. I've a lovely long sleeve Signs of the Swarm. T-shirt
nice! I've got a Grey Stag and a Wu-Tang Clan, which would be probably my favorite.
Oh yeah,
nice. Oh, actually, Wu-Tang this year. Fuck yes! Can't wait.
Now, unfortunately, our white T-shirts, we won't be doing them at this particular gig. Just our own financial constraints and. Just the old design we had. Yeah, the old design that we had, we have remade, but that was a test trial print. I think we printed 8 of them. They sold out in 20 minutes at the Siege.
Yeah, all of them sold out straight away.
Yeah,
which was really weird. It was quite not weird, but it was just like, oh, okay. There's might be possible profit to be made from doing white prints.
But we're definitely going to be doing white prints of our new design. We just need to figure out a way of inverting the colors without fucking up the design. So
that's more of the challenge of getting the design right on the.
And is that the EP cover?
That's the EP cover. We uploaded it there a couple of days ago.
I think it should be basic enough. That's just simple Photoshop, actually. Big shout out to Diarmid as well for designing that.
Yeah.
Oh man, his artwork is
it's great to have somebody in the band that can do that for you. Again, it's a savings.
Go follow his Instagram if you like that stuff at Jam on Toast McGee. The boy is phenomenal, and he is looking to get into doing commissions
work
for
and stuff like that.
metal
Brilliant.
albums and whatnot. He's probably the best artist I've ever met. I'm probably the best guitarist I know as well.
He's such a good dude, Ocean, isn't he? Heart to gold there.
Like it's, I don't know. I don't know. Like personally, like, I just feel privileged to be in the band that I'm in with the people I'm in with.
Yeah,
it. Like,
absolutely.
My best friend throughout the vast majority of my life is in it. I've got mates who I've known for 10 plus years in it, and then we met Shapes.
Yeah.
And he's just the life of the party.
Yeah.
And Nate, you're only just starting out, boy. You're only just starting out. now.
Hey. We're only just
It's
starting.
great. Like, I mean,
Keep an eye out. We've a lot coming up next year.
you have an ever growing group of fans that you are converting through live gigs, and
we were thinking of starting a cult, so
cults are ropey down Limerick,
cult.
Ocean. I'd say if you want to start a cult, man, maybe start in Dublin and work outwards.
Yeah, but then that would mean we'd have to spend even more time in Dublin, which is expensive as hell.
Oh, of course it is. I'm sure you're only a fucking short drive from Limerick. Fuck's sake, show some respect. Like, I mean, if you're down in Cork, it's fucking far worse. So that's it, lads. I'm going to give a shout out again. The launch party is the 15th of April. Do not miss it.
Unmaker and Aborted Earth are going to be playing. There's going to be a few few cool little things going on as well.
Yeah.
So we're not at Liberty. Pharmacia on the 15th of April. Yeah. And we're not at liberty to discuss the extra stuff, but it's got to be cool.
Free booze. Come for the free booze.
Yeah, there's got to be free shots.
So you've been listening to Ocean and Nate from World of Attrition. Thanks again for coming on the show, lads. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having us,
Thank you very much for having us, Richie.
Yeah, and best of luck with the EP launch. Get onto their Bandcamp page, people. Buy the CD. I'm going to be certainly buying it. It's great that they have a physical copy. Check out the rest of their merch on Bandcamp. And this is a band.
Check out their website, worldofattrition.ie.
Yes, they're paying for the fucking website. There's not many Irish bands that have proper websites, and they update it regularly with blogs as well. So, World of Attrition, they're on the way up, people, and give them the love. That's all they need. Okay, so
thank you very much, Richie.
As I always end the show, it's very important and the lads will agree as well, support your fucking local metal scene.
Fucking only way to do it, man.